I'm Carrie Pena, and this is Front Doors TV, broadcasting today from the Center for Positive Media. And I have a good friend I'm making over here today. Well, two new friends. Elaine Starks, Executive Director of Paws, and Coco. Elaine, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You know, Paws, it's such an exciting movement, what's going on, how the dogs are helping in the healing. You all have been around for 23 years. Talk a little bit about what you do.
We train service dogs for children and adults with PTSD, type 1 diabetes, mobility challenges, and also for federal and government agencies.
Dogs like Coco.
Dogs like Coco will work in the courtrooms with survivors of sexual or domestic abuse. And so they will follow the survivor through the entire process.
Talk about, I mean, I thought it was so interesting. You said 70% of requests you're receiving right now have to do with folks who are battling with some mental health challenges. There's been a real spike.
For the last 3 years, we've seen the spike for mental health go up actually 4 to 1 over the other areas of placement of service animals. And for PTSD, it's survivors of sexual or domestic abuse. It's all kinds of situations, but actually 75% increase in dogs for mental health challenges.
And you were talking about how much the dogs are helping children who are going through really terrifying situations as they work their way through the court system. These are children who've suffered, oh, bye, Coco. These are children who have suffered domestic violence or sexual violence, severely traumatized. The dogs are brought in, and how do the dogs help the children navigate this process?
From start to finish, actually. Starting with forensic interviewer, where the children are actually telling their stories, and then when they actually have to go into the courtroom. Trials can take anywhere up to a year or more. What the dogs in the courtrooms will help them through the entire process of preparing actually to be in a courtroom. The dogs that are in the courts have coloring books, so it's introducing each child or survivor to that dog, but starting to prepare them for what it's going to be like in a courtroom. And when they actually are in that courtroom and they have to testify against that person who hurt them, the dogs are sitting alongside them through the entire process. That sometimes can take up to 3 or 4 hours for that day, so the dog has to maintain its composure and keep that person or survivor comfortable.
As the executive director of this organization, what is the kind of healing that you're personally witnessing when you see the dogs connected to either the children navigating the court system, or as you spoke about earlier, folks who are dealing with type 1 diabetes, PTSD, mobility issues? What is the type of healing that these dogs are providing?
I have so many stories to tell, but we've had one young lady diagnosed with mobility challenges, but she was also misdiagnosed of being nonverbal. And within a month of her receiving a service animal, the first word she said was the dog's name. And so now that dog goes to the health visits with that child in the family, because the dogs have a way of also always uncovering something that we cannot see with our eyes.
That is so powerful. What does this work mean to you as the executive director?
It means us having an impact on changing the quality of life, not only for the person that receives the dog, but for the family. There's a level of independence that happens when a client gets a service dog. Some of the things that they couldn't do independently, that family also has a sense of relief that if there's a challenge, they actually have a well-trained guardian angel that's following them along. Someone who can open a door. If a child has type 1, if they're taking a nap, they can slip into unconsciousness. That dog is going to either alert a parent, send off an alarm, which we have the little buttons, easy buttons that you can press. But when those highs or lows come, which the dogs are specially trained for, they are going to get that child or adult the help they need.
What's the kind of help you and your organization need right now? Do you need volunteers? Do you need donations? You're a nonprofit.
Top priority is volunteers. Our volunteers help the foster dogs through training. And so that's the top priority. The more volunteers we have, the more dogs we can place into service. And grants and donations help us to support each of the canines and that family through the life of the canine for no additional cost.
Well, I appreciate you and all the work that you and your team are doing. Paws Assistance Dogs, and you can find more information on the screen. I just love the work. I think it's so important. And even though Coco abandoned me, I still love you, Coco. And thank you so much, Elaine. We appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you.
And thanks to all of you for watching Front Doors TV. I'm Carrie Pena.